Hey yo, my name is Justin, and welcome to a new episode of my weekly visual journal, in which I share the honest journey of building a business and creating my dream life all the way from the start. I'll go over some of the struggles I'm having, I'll go over some wins, some raw updates, and everything in between. And this one will be especially about dealing with stress and overwhelm as an early stage founder. So, if you don't know what my business is about, it's Founder Space, and this is a community for early stage founders that really want to grow and don't want to do this alone. Quick life update. I'm currently in my hometown in the Netherlands, and for the next 2 weeks, I'll be living in Amsterdam, which I'm really excited about. So that's cool. Okay, now let's dive into the struggle. So the main struggle is actually that it felt like a roller coaster. So I went from times of like pure like calm, clarity, and like flow into overthinking, getting in my head, like feeling stressed and overwhelmed, and then trying to get rid of this. But the good thing is that I didn't let this mood like affect my actions. So even though I became aware of it, like whoa, I think so negatively, I still acted in the right way, which I think is huge. And how did I do this? Is just pure through awareness. So I'm now becoming really aware that this is just like old loops that's still happening, and now through like a lot of meditation for me and just being aware of what are actually these thought loops, these thought patterns in my head, being like whoa. But then if you become aware of this, you can get too much in your head and then also be aware of, oh, I'm having stress now, I want to just get rid of the stress. And one member, Machill, actually gave a great tip on this, and that is to just accept it, which sounds obvious, but don't try to get rid of this feeling of stress. Like, oh, I'm aware that I'm actually stressed. Now I need to get rid of it. No, just accept it and be okay with it. Be at peace with it. It's okay to feel a little bit stressed sometimes. So yeah, first one is awareness. Second one is just accept it. Third thing, which I'm still noticing, is that self-belief. So I'm still lacking a bit self-belief because I'm so worried about the outcome, not like that it will not work out right. And this is such a big thing, which is actually causing all of this stress and overwhelm and pressure, because I'm still not like, I'm still worried about it. And now that even becoming more aware of this, I'm like, okay, I know this is not true, and I can shift back into actually, I know it will work out, I know I'll figure it out. So for me, it is like, oh, I've never done that, and then starting to doubt myself. I'm like, oh, I don't know how, and then I make it even harder. So now that I'm even more aware of it, it's all like, oh, it's just this self belief, like just believing in myself that I'm smart enough to figure it out. So it's purely about self belief. Now let's dive into exactly what I worked on in the business. So what I worked on was ad creative. Main thing I worked on actually is improving the landing page, so the website, so where people go from the ad. So the old website was really just more like vibes and not really selling the value and emotion of the community. So that's what I changed, and as well then I changed how then people can apply, and I added a letter in there, like a personal note, to really get people to understand why and what the deeper reason is behind it. So yeah, that's mostly what I worked on. And then as well, we had a monthly fam chat, and this is a chat in which once a month we just come all together and talk about business and reflect and help each other. And this was such a nice call because it's so great to see people win. Yours, one of the members, got from 0 to 3 paying clients this month, which is insane. Another one got his first inbound client, which is super nice. So I'm reaching out to him. And as well, just having chats about dealing with stress, dealing with overwhelm, and just having a place where we can all chat about this is just super great. Or even remember getting some help on, okay, how do I outsource like the first part of my service business. So yeah, it's just really cool to see that happening. Let's dive into the numbers of the business. So actually, there are two ways to look at it. So if I look at purely at the monthly revenue, it's actually 8K this month, but this was because we booked the next founder house, and I don't really make profit out of this. Like, I just can make sure that I stay there for myself. So if we strip that away, actually the revenue I had this month was 550, which is a big difference, but it's all good. Um, so yeah, 550 is the revenue for this month. If you're looking at the community, then the member count is still the same, so still at 8 members, which hasn't gone up. Then Instagram is now going up to 216, which actually increased by 41, which is super nice. And then YouTube hasn't gone up. That's now at 170 still. Then we come actually into the win of the week, and that is that the ad is actually performing and actually new applications are rolling in, which I'm I'm so happy about. Actually, another win is that a founder reached out to me, and now I'm helping him build his routines, because he's really focused on building business, but he had some struggles with like just doing other things in life and that aspect. And now I'm actually helping with him, which is some really nice side income. And yeah, it just came on my path, and that's super nice, and I really love doing it. So yeah, that's great. Then now let's go into the personal pursuits. So this week I finished 2 books. I finished 10 times is easier than 2 times, which is really great book. Game Perspective, which I talked about last week, it's just great. It's also coming back to this self-belief. It's like how we frame our story, how we actually tell the story to ourselves. So yeah, really recommend it. And then I also finished the Self-Mastery Playbook, which is really about the topics I was just talking about, and it's also really what I'm working on in the community. So it's a great book for me to read. And what I learned is like the 3 steps to his like self-mastery protocol, which is rewire, which is actually getting aware of these thought loops, these thought patterns, and then rewiring them and being like, oh, this is not actually the truth. Then the second one is align. So be like, what is actually the state, and what kind of identity do I need to be to actually get to where I want? So that's align. And then execute. And what I really liked is, one tip is the minimum viable promise, MVP, which is, instead of like trying to make it a really big goal, just make like a small promise. What is one small promise I can take? Because this is again about building this self-trust and like taking small steps and just actually doing what you said you would do, because that builds self-trust. So that's a great one. And then a quick read that I just started to listen to is Turning Pro, which is, I read The Art of War, which is super great. Highly recommend it. So now I'm learning Turning Pro, and we'll tell more about you when I have an insight about that. And then on the routine side, I had a great week. I ran 2 times. I had 2 exercise sessions. I had actually 3 to 4 breaking sessions. So that's super great. So that's all good. Now let's dive into next week focus. So for next week, I'm purely focusing on improving the ad creative, so getting some of the more of the next ads ready, and as well trying to see if I can improve somewhere the conversions. And then the second thing I'm going to work on is creating some organic content. So that's the main focus for next week. And then the question I'm having for you is, what are some of the thought patterns, thought loops you're having that are not serving you anymore, and that you could better just get rid of? Let me know. All right, see you next time.